Previously on Dr. Brian shows you how to properly service your lawn machine.
Sometimes, you realize that, servicing your lawn machine is a team sport. You're going to have to jerk this off. And that's how you know you've done a good job, if you jerk it off and it comes gushing out. All right, we're back. So I got a shop rag. And you're going to need a lot of these shop rags because it's going to get messy here when you do it right. That's great because this shot is going to be money. And I don't know what to expect, but I don't want it all over my face at the end of the day. So.
Hello YouTube, it's your boy Brian coming back to you with another installment of my Opus video series called How to Properly Service Your Lawn Machine. And if you've been around since the beginning, I just want to say thank you, both of my subscribers now, for subscribing to my channel and sticking with me through thick and thin. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's taken about a week. It's the 4th of July today, and if you're not originally from America, you may not know the significance of this holiday, which was pretty much boiled down to this, is that we were a bunch of English people originally that were tired of drinking tea from England, so we decided to tell the King of England that we preferred coffee, and so we threw all the tea in the ocean. And then about a few months later, we got together the 13 states, which the English used to make us call colonies back in the day. And we said, you know what? We don't want to drink your tea anymore, so we're going to say goodbye. And I hope you're all right with it. But they weren't all right with it. So we got all of our muskets out. We slammed all the little round balls into the muskets, and we had some battles with the English, and then the French kind of came and helped us out, and we're pretty much thankful to them for all the help that they gave us, because we were really tired of drinking tea, and they didn't make us or even expect us to drink tea, so that was great. And matter of fact, the French have good coffee, which is why to this day that we still have French roast coffee, and we think it's delicious, and we drink it with our dinners. So we mark this holiday by celebrating all the muskets and the balls that we shot in that war, by drinking copious amounts of beer and trying to light this country on fire every 4th of July with fireworks and firecrackers. So that is America in a nutshell. If you was remembering me in my previous segment where I said I saw somebody over the fence line kind of watching me in my backyard pounding my lawn machine with my big hammer.
All right. I got people watching me right now.
That would have been my new neighbor. And he was watching me, and right after I had this mishap with the oil pan, he came over because he heard me cursing a little bit about what had happened. And he said, Dr. Brian, that I was kind of watching you over the fence line, pounding your lawn machine with a big hammer, and I had some kind of an idea, and I wanted to share with you. So it kind of went something like this. He was saying, I've been noticing that you've been having a crooked cut. And I know you said that you wanted to beat your deck with a big hammer, but I'm here to tell you, I think it might be something else. And so what he did was he asked me if he could lay hands on my spindle. And I said, of course you can. You can come over anytime you want and lay your hands on my spindle. What do you want to show me? And so what I'm fixing to show you is what he told me. So stay tuned. So this spindle is the good one. And he goes and he grabs a hold of my spindle and he goes, spin. And look at that. It's still spinning. It's spinning freely. And the fact that it spins as freely like this is a good sign. Now he says, watch this. So he grabs a hold of my spindle, right? And he gives it a twist. And he goes, "Ooh, your spindle is really stiff." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, how many belts have you broken since you've owned this thing? And I said, oh, maybe about 2 or 3, and the belt would be this thing here. He goes, for a 4-year-old machine, that's probably about 2 belts too many. And so he goes, furthermore, watch this. And so he grabs a hold of my stiff spindle like this, and he gives it a turn, and you know, look, it doesn't even turn. And this is even after I had spent all that time out here in the backyard beating on my deck with my big hammer. So, matter of fact, you know, I was pretty happy with it at the end of the day, and I think I did make some improvement. But what my neighbor said is that you probably have a shot bearing, and you probably ought to, you know, change that out, because really, that spindle should spin as freely as this one does. And he thinks that if I do that, I might stand a chance to kind of take it the rest of the way. Because like, if you hear, as I rotate it about 270 degrees, it spins free and everything is under the deck. But it comes to one side and I'm still a little lopsided, and you can hear it scraping against the sidewalk here. He goes, you probably have a bent spindle and a shot bearing. So the good news is that I went down to my local John Deere distributor and I bought me a brand new spindle. And so what I'm fixing to do and show you today in today's segment is I'm going to take that new spindle. I'm going to take this stiff spindle out. I'm going to put in this new spindle that spins freely. And hopefully by the end of it, I won't have to beat any more on this deck, nor will I have to worry about having a stiff spindle. So stay tuned.
Sometimes you just gotta tell them like it is. Alright, YouTube, it's the 4th of July, just as I stated at the opening of this segment, and I'm here to give you my confessional lament about what you just witnessed outside in my backyard. So, as I was saying, I was fixing to replace this spindle as per my neighbor's solid advice. I should probably take my stiff spindle and replace it with a brand new one off the shelf. John Deere designed brand new spindle. So here's the problem. I think he was watching me on the time lapse. The struggle I was having to try to install this spindle. I mean, at the end of the day, it should be unscrew it, 4 bolts, drop the spindle, take the new spindle, put it up under the deck, align the holes, put in the new bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, tighten them up. And that certainly is not what you saw on my video, is it? Now I'm here to tell you why that is. I'm gonna get real close and personal with you right now. And we're gonna get real about some spindles. So I'm bringing it up close. On the original spindle, if I turn it in the light a little bit, you can see the threads on the inside of the bosses, which is what you need to have to be able to drive some bolts through and secure it to your deck. This, however, is the one I attempted to install on video today. Brand new, spins real nice, feels like it's got good bearings in it, but take a look at the bosses all the way around. And if I get real close and personal with you, you will see that there are no threads on any of these bosses. And as I was attempting to drive my bolts into the bosses here, it was a no-go situation. And thusly, because of that situation, it has ruined my 4th of July holiday. So, what that means at the end of the day is that this 1-week project in progress is bound to turn into something of a 2-week ordeal because it's an American holiday, because we're celebrating that we like coffee greater than tea, that now I'm gonna have to take this back to the John Distributor store, which is not really their fault. They buy John Deere parts and they put them on the shelf. And I'm gonna have to take back this spindle, which costs me, as an end user, $54.73, which is bound to be about 300 or 400% markup, and tell them that the quality of the part that they gave me is absolutely and utterly crap and unusable as it was given. So, my day is over. I'm glad you stayed around to listen to my lament. I'm only glad that Miller Lite decided to be an American company. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna prove that to you right now. This beer is to you for hanging around. Mr. Google, what company owns Miller Lite?
Molson Coors Beverage Company, according to some information I found on Wikipedia.
Molson Coors? This is a Canadian beer? This is the worst holiday ever! Worst holiday ever, Google. You got nothing to say about that, do you?